Hello everyone, welcome to this video. In this video we'll be going to solve another question from function of 2 or 3 real variables. This question has been taken from IIT-JAM Mathematical Statistics 2021 question paper. This is a numerical answer type question and it is of 1 mark. So here in this question they are saying if you are given S as this region, right, this is some rectangular region which is taken from R square. From this rectangular region the boundaries of both x and y, they are given to be 2 and 4. Then they are saying what is the value of this integral. So we need to solve this double integral in order to solve this question. Now the solution to this very question is very simple. So given this S with us, we just have to evaluate this double integral. So we are given the region in this R square such that both x and y, they lie between 2 and 4, and it is also given that x is less than y, right? Okay, so here in order to solve this we need to find what are the limits for this given region. The function that is given to us is 1 divided by 4 minus x dx and dy. So here we need to write the limits of x and we need to write the limits of y, right? Because the order is defined in this manner only. So from here you could see what are the limits of y and what are the limits of x. So here obviously the limits, they are clubbed to each other. So that means one would have the constant limits, another one would be represented in terms of another one, right? So here because y is taken outside, so obviously this limit has to be constant limit. So the values would be the upper and the lower bound that is given to us, and it is 2 and 4. So the value of y that lies here between 2 and 4, right? And what about the limits of x then? For the limits of x, we would see this much portion only and we can ignore this. Why? Because we are taking this to be dependent on y. So that means the limits for x, they vary from 2 to y, right? So this is how you write the limits. Now we need to solve this question. So in order to solve this question, so we first of all have to integrate with respect to x, right? So we need to first solve this much portion. How do we solve this much portion? So let's keep this integral as such, y varying from 2 to 4, and integration with respect to y as such, and what is inside 1 by 4 minus x. So its integration is ln of 4 minus x divided by minus of 1, and you could substitute the limits here. The limits of x varies from 2 to y, right? So just substitute the limits here. We have integration varying from 2 to 4, right? And you could take minus outside. So when you substitute in place of x the value y, you would obtain ln of 4 minus y in the first term, and then in the second term you would obtain, when you substitute in place of x, you would obtain 4 minus 2, that is 2 here, right? dy. Now you see integrating this log function is very difficult, right? And it would take time. Integrating the log function is difficult. You could proceed by this integral also, but what we are going to do is we are going to change the limits. So we will change the order of integration. So that means we are just going to reverse the order of integration. Let's see how we can do that. So we could write our integral. So our integral, this one s 1 upon 4 minus x dx dy, this could also be written as integration 1 upon 4 minus x dy and dx. So that means we first have to take the limits for y and then we have to take the limits for x, right? And what is the region that is given to us? We are given the region of all the points x and y such that they are taken from the 2D plane, right? And moreover the limits, they are given to you like this, right? This is given to us. So from here you see obviously the outer limit here has to be constant. So the constant values, you could ignore this y here for the time being. So you see your x lie between 2 to 4. So you could write it down here, x lies between 2 to 4. So and what are the limits for y? So for y you just have to take this much portion. So the lower limit would be x and the upper limit would be 4. So these are your limits, right? So we now are required to solve this integral. So solving this integral over here, the first integral would remain as such. So here there is no term with respect to y. So how we can solve this one? We could just write a y here, 1 by 4 minus x as such. We could just write a y here and put the limit of integration from x to 4 and dx as such, right? So we could solve this one. It would be integration x varying from 2 to 4, right? Let me write it down here. So it is equal to, so it is equal to integration x varying from 2 to 4, right? The limits for 1 by 4 minus x as such, the upper limit of y would be 4 and the lower limit would be x. So these are the limits and you have dx as such. So these are the limits. So you see this upper and the lower function, they cancel out with each other, simple. So you have integration x varying from 2 to 4 1 dx, and its integration is simple. It is just equal to x and the limits for x, they varying from 2 to 4. So that means you have 4 minus 2 and you have 2 as the final answer, right? So you have 2 as the answer to this question. So you see how changing the order of integration make your question super simple. You just have to write the correct limits here, right? So I hope you understood this question well. Well, that is it for this video. Thank you for watching.